want to give the American people an update on what's happened today. Obviously, we remain focused on the situation at Texas Presbyterian in Dallas. As I've said before, when we have tight protocols with respect to the treatment of patients, then our healthcare workers are safe. But because of these two incidents, we know now that there may have been problems in terms of how protective gear was worn or removed, or some of the additional treatment procedures may have impacted potential exposure. We don't know yet exactly what happened. All the support that they need, and we will continue to work both. Throughout this process, I've been focused on making sure that we are dealing with this problem at the source. The most important thing, in addition to treating and monitoring anybody who even has a hint of potential exposure here in this country, the most important thing that I can do for keeping the American people safe is for us to be able to deal with Ebola at the source, where you've got a huge outbreak in West Africa. And the United States is obviously leading the way in terms of providing resources, equipment, and mobilizing the world community. Goes out to who've been affected. I don't have a philosophical objection necessarily to a travel ban if that is the thing that is going to keep the American people safe. The problem is that in all the discussions I've had thus far with experts in the field, experts in infectious disease, is that a travel ban is less effective than the measures that we are currently instituting. If we institute a travel ban instead of the protocols that we put in place now, history shows that there is a likelihood of increased avoidance. People do not readily disclose their information. They may engage in something called broken travel, essentially breaking up their trip so that they can hide the fact that they have been to one of these countries where there's a disease in place. And as a result, we may end up getting less information about who has the disease. They're less likely to get treated properly, screened properly, quarantined properly, and as a consequence, we could end up having more cases rather than less. It may be appropriate for me to appoint an additional person, not because the three of these folks have not been doing an outstanding job. I should mention them, Susan Rice, my National Security Advisor. It's not that they haven't been doing an outstanding job really working hard on this issue, but they also are responsible for a whole bunch of other stuff. So it may make sense for us to have one person